بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
And I would like to narrate to you some of the special virtues and fadilat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to Ali ibn Abi Talib. And these fazail will be in the words of Ali himself. This is actually almost 20 years after the passing away of Rasulullah. This is the time when the second Khalifa was injured fatally, and he appointed 6 individuals to be in a Shura. It's a committee where they will sit down and choose among themselves who will be the next Khalifa. Interestingly, Ali was included in that committee. There's a whole discussion about it itself, Shura, what does it mean? Why did even Ali agree to be part of that committee? But that's for some other time. We have talked about it before. I will just say one statement here because, people might have questions in their minds about it. Abdullah ibn Abbas, the cousin of Ali, asked him, why you are going in this Shura? You know what is the consequences. They don't want you. And Amir al-Mu'minin said, listen, I know I'll not get the Khilafat again. I will be denied. But I'm just going there so that amaluhu yubtilu qawlah. Because this action of Umar appointing me in that committee, from which one of us will become a Khalifa, will nullify his statement in Saqifa when he said that Nubuwwat and Khilafat cannot be in one family. And so Ali just went there to make a point. He knew what will happen. Umar appointed Abdurrahman bin Auf as the chairman. So there was all negotiations about the 6 people there. Zubair and one of others, they withdrew in the name of Ali. The other 2 withdrew in the name of Osman. And so now Abdurrahman bin Auf had the casting vote as the chairman. And he offered Khilafat to Ali. He says, I offer the Khilafat to you on the condition that you will follow the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah and the Seerah of Shaykhain, Shaykh Abu Bakr and Shaykh Umar. And Ali said, I accept the Khilafat on the basis of Kitabullah and Sunnah Rasulullah and my own opinions. It was a total denial of the validity of the Khilafat of Abu Bakr and Umar. And then Abdurrahman ibn Auf turned to Osman. Do you agree to accept Khilafat on basis of Kitabullah and Sunnah of Rasulullah and the tradition of Shaykhain? He said yes. So he said yes, this is your Khilafat. So even that rejection by Ali was very meaningful and powerful. That I only go on the basis of the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet, and not on the Seerah of the Shaykhain. Salawat pranayeng para. But after that, when all this happened, and Ali knew about it, that he will be denied the Khilafat again, Amir al-Mu'minin did not leave the gathering without making a statement. And this is what I would like to share with you in this evening's gathering. Abu Tufail is the narrator. He said, I was one of the individuals assigned to guard these people, because one of the conditions that the second Khalifa has put, that if they don't agree and any one of them, opposes the majority, fi sabilillah, kill him. So there were people assigned there at the door, to guard these 6 people in the committee. Abu Tufail was one of them, and he narrates that towards the end of this discussion, when Ali was not given the Khilafat, he says, Ali stood up and he told them, لا أحتجن عليكم بما لا يستطيع عربيكم ولا عجميكم يغير ذلك. I'm going to present to you my arguments, which no Arab or non-Arab in the world of Islam will be able to change or deny. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen mentioned about 30 points. We don't have the time for it, but I selected about 15 to 20 of those points that he mentions. And inshallah, we'll go through one by one. Then we come to the last two statements, which are relevant to ghadeer, where Ali says, فَأَنْشِدُكُمْ بِاللَّهِ هَلْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَنَّ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ قَالَ. I remind you of Allah. Do you know that the Prophet said, and he said this in different places, different occasions, especially in the event of ghadeer, in the largest audience that Rasulullah had seen in his life. And what did he say? إِنِّي تَارِكٌ فِيكُمُ الثَّقَلَيْنِ. I'm leaving two precious things among you. Kitab Allah wa itrati. Allah's book and my family. لَن تَضِلُّوا مَا إِن تَمَسَّكْتُم بِهِمَا. You will never ever go astray if you hold on to both of them. And not only that, لَن يَفْتَرِقَا. They will not separate from one another. Anyone claims to have Ahlul Bayt but not the Quran is not true. Anyone says that we have the Quran but not the Ahlul Bayt, again, is not true, because لَن يَفْتَرِقَا. Never ever will the Quran and Ahlul Bayt separate from one another. حَتَّى يَرِدَ عَلَيِّ الْحَوْزِ. Until they will come. The translation there is, there's a mistake there. It should be, until they, the Ahlul Bayt and the Quran, reach to me by the fountain on the day of Qiyamah. Salawat. And the last example that I have here, I'd like to share with you, is فَأَنْشِدُكُمْ بِاللَّهِ. Again about ghadeer. فَأَنْشِدُكُمْ بِاللَّهِ هَلْ فِيكُمْ أَحَدٌ. I remind you of Allah. He's talking to these members of the committee. Is there anyone among you about whom the Prophet said, and he said this in ghadeer, مَنْ كُنْتُ مَوْلَاهُ فَعَلِيٌّ مَوْلَاهُ. That whomsoever's master I am, Ali is his master. Allahumma wali man wala wa adi man ada. O Allah, love the person who loves Ali and be the enemy of the person who is enemy of Ali. Not only that, Rasulullah gave this message in ghadeer, he made it a duty on every Muslim. لَيُبَلِّغُ الشَّاهِدْ مِنْكُمْ الْغَائِبِ. Those who are present here have to convey this message to those who are absent. Not only physically who were there, this message of Rasulullah has to be conveyed. Even when we know about it, it is our duty to convey it to those who don't know about it. Salawat. There is no doubt about this issue of, the words uttered by Rasulullah in ghadeer. No credible Sunni scholar would ever deny that this is not true. But what they do is they say, well, Mawla has different meanings. And you open the dictionary, yes, you will see Mawla, which means master, and also it means a slave, for example. It also means a friend. And especially our Sufi brothers, they say, well, he was Mawla in the sense of our friend. Just think about it. Look at the first statement, Man kuntu mawlahu. Whosoever's master and Mawla I am, Ali is his master. Is this a simple matter that he has gathered almost 100,000 people to declare to them that whoever considers me to be a friend, Ali is also his friend? Were all these people sitting there were enemies of Ali? If that is the reality, then Rasulullah really failed in his mission. How can it be? You have to look at the context. If there is one word which has 10 meanings, look at the context. What did he say before? Where he says, Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum. Do not I have more authority on you? And this is based on the ayat of Quran. Ar-Rasul awla min al-mu'minina bi anfusihim. The Nabi has more authority on the believers more than they themselves have on themselves. And so he asked this question, Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum. Do not I have more authority on you than yourselves? All of them said, Bala, yes, Ya Rasulullah. It's that moment that Rasulullah raised the hands of Ali, where he says, Man kuntu mawlahu, fahadha aliyun mawla. Salawat. Mawla here is same as the meaning of the sentence before, awla, somebody who has more authority. It is about mastership and nothing else. And so then they say, well, yeah, it means he was a spiritual master. Where does it say in the words of Rasulullah? He didn't say, oh, your political master is someone else. In spiritual matters, go to Ali. Why did you then include him in the Shura? Why did you all, 25 years after Ghadeer, exactly by that day, 18th of Zulhijjah, you went to the door of Ali after the murder of the third Khalifa, insisting on him to become the Imam and the Khalifa? How come now the political and the spiritual leadership and mastership is coming together in the same person? And this is where we have to realize, it's just playing with the words, trying to interpret according to justifying the history. But for us, Ali is Mawla in the same meaning that Rasulullah is Mawla, and Rasul is Mawla in the same meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Mawla. Salawat.